Our collaboration was an interesting process, particularly in the context of being on opposite sides of the world and 13 hours apart in time differences. As with everyone else, we assembled our own personal lists of favorite poems from the course and from other readings. For both of us, the poems, the pieces of artwork, and the songs we chose weren't for any specific reason, other than the fact that the poems we chose resonated with us in some way. We met at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which was 11 p.m. in Beijing, and it was only after we went through the lists we each already had that we found a common thread to help guide us in forming a selection of poems for the anthology. What we found was basically that what we gravitated towards in the poems we chose was the way that the poems often captured fleeting moments and emotions and fleeting experiences. Poems all did this in many different ways, but there was a common ground in the way that the poems seemed to almost evoke experiences that were also different and so specific that it seemed impossible for the same feelings to be evoked in any other situation. This idea is also reflected in the sense that it sometimes seems like identities and lives are composed of all these experiences and situations that are each unique and contribute something significant to one's identity. This is something that we both found in examining our lists of poems, so we decided to select poems that convey this idea most to create our anthology while doing the same with a selection of spoken word poems and pieces of artwork.
The idea that identity is not created just when you're born, but through a series of experiences was essential to our anthology. One of the poems that really kind of cements this idea is The Name I Wanted by Richard Blanco, where he describes that he himself is not made up of just one experience, but actually through numerous interactions with various objects and various people. Everything, it is the culmination, actually, of everything, and the continued accumulation of experiences that changes every day and describes who he is. Making a Fist by Naomi Shihab Nye also really strikes me in this respect. She describes a time when she was young where she feels like she's about to die just because of a stomachache. But what her mother taught her while she was experiencing this stomachache, that making a fist will keep her going, followed her throughout the years. And she says that after all of this time, she still thinks of that journey. This journey has been crucial in shaping who she is now and what her character is.
In developing the anthology, Jack Gilbert's poem, Looking at Pittsburgh from Paris, played a large role in my understanding of this idea of evanescence. It was the first poem I looked at for the online course, and it stood out this whole time. The title of the anthology actually comes from this poem, from the line saying, "We come to know ourselves as immense continents and archipelagos of endless bounty." The phrase archipelagos of endless bounty seemed to embody this idea of many small and fleeting moments coming together. This poem describes a man's heart as a boat with a cargo of ghosts and angels, which are the embodiments of all the memories of small and fleeting moments that make up a man's life. One piece of artwork that we chose is a piece by Joseph Cornell, who is known for his assemblages of found objects. These pieces were often created within a box, where various objects are placed together to create a small dreamlike scene. Cornell was an avid collector throughout his life, so each and every object placed into one of these assemblages comes from a part of Cornell's past. The scale of the piece and the intimacy of the placement inside a box gives a strong feeling of a memory, an idea further emphasized in the particular piece shown in the anthology, which is of a wooden cockatoo over a background of watch faces.
Another piece of artwork that we looked at was Improvisation 27 by Wassily Kandinsky. It shows a rather sensual background with lots of very strange figures and shapes on the forefront. People who look at it are usually very confused, and I was very confused by it when we first saw it as well. But actually, as you look at it, you kind of get this very intimate sense as you look at all the colors, all the strange figures, and you kind of wonder at what they meant for the artist. And it's actually a painting as the painting as a whole that really resonated with Kandinsky. And each person's character, he says, defines what this piece of artwork means to them. And I think that is really important. And when you look at how these archipelagos of your personal life affect you when you're reading this anthology.